guys. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at how to structure a single analysis essay. It's actually pretty easy. You just have to kind of know the formula, and once you know the formula, you just follow it. Pretty simple. I'm going to use this PowerPoint, which I will also send you, and we're going to go through it. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so how to avoid the zombie apocalypse and pass your English SAC of analysing argument. So I kind of made this like a zombie theme, just, to make it interesting. Why not? So here we go. Alright, so just like any day of reckoning, preparation is key, and certainly in terms of like the scale of magnitude, I would say the day of the zombie apocalypse and the day of your analysing argument SAC is, probably like on par. Particularly how close it is. Woo! Okay, so practice and study is essential in the lead up to your AA SAC. Okay, just like in the day of reckoning, you've seen those zombie preppers, those doomsday preppers. You got to be prepared. And same with this SAC. You need to be prepared. You need to do some prep before the SAC. Okay, you cannot wing English. I cannot stress that enough. Those lacking adequate preparation will be eaten alive. Same as zombie apocalypse. And to ensure readiness for the AA, I would suggest at least 4 run-through pieces would suffice. So you better start getting on top of that. Alright. Planning ahead. Oh, sorry, you can't see the little... There we go. I'll move myself out of the way. Okay, so planning ahead. There are 5 steps to language analysis, okay? My first step is always to read the article without making any notes. That's the first thing I do, is I read the article without making any notes, because it's really important that you understand what the article is talking about, what the contention is, what the arguments are, before you launch into picking it apart and pulling out all those persuasive pulls. You've got to get the contention, tone shifts, and certainly arguments out first. So just read. Then, once you've read it through and you're happy that you understand what it's about, identify everything, okay? So you reread the piece, highlighting and annotating it. And annotating means like, writing on it. So you want to annotate in your second read, you want to annotate what the contention is, what the arguments are, and any sort of strongest persuasive pulls. Remember, you don't have to write about every single persuasive pull that you find, okay? You just have to write about the ones that are kind of strongest. Alright, the other thing I would do while I'm in step 3, and doing my annotation, is I would make sure I identify, this says all 3 articles, that's for year 12s, you only have 1, so don't panic. So identify for your article what the issue is, what the text is, so is it an opinion piece, is it an editorial, is it a blog post, what is it? You also need to find out the authorship details, so that's like title and all of that kind of stuff, and obviously author. Audience, so who is it written for? Who is the target audience? Who would read this? Okay. Relationship, which is about like the relationship that the author has with the issue. So for instance, if you are reading an article about, say, putting police in schools, and it's written by a policeman, well, obviously his relationship to the issue is that he works in the industry, and obviously would have a favourable opinion of the police force. Whereas if I was reading an article about the police being put in schools, and say it was written by a principal, then obviously the relationship is different. So the relationship would be that that they would be concerned about how their school would look with police in it, whether it would have any negative impacts. Okay, so you got to work that out. Stance. Now, stance is like, are they pro the issue or are they against the issue? So like the basic of their opinion. So for instance, for the police in schools, are they pro-police in schools? Are they anti-police in schools? Okay. And then last but not least, contention. Okay, so what are they basically arguing? What is their overall opinion? All right. So once you've done that, hang on. Have I mucked that up? No, step 2. Step 3. Okay, step 3 is to really identify what persuasive pulls you're going to talk about. Okay, now my advice would be 2 or 3 per argument. So once you've worked out what your arguments are, go into each argument and go, right, what 2 to 3 persuasive pulls am I going to address in this one? Because that's how you're going to structure. You're going to structure through arguments. So you need to make sure that you've got enough persuasive pulls for each argument. Okay? My advice would be, don't pick the easiest persuasive pulls you find. Pick the ones that have like the most complex discussion in them. Ones that have like lots of layers to them. Okay? Because the more that you can go in depth and you can be specific about, the better your marks will be. Okay? Step 4 is write it. Oh God, hang on. My Cocker Spaniel would like to be in the video. Here she is, ready? Oh. Say hello, Della. Oh, she needs a pat. She's very pat demanding. And there are my other 2, ready? There they are. Yeah, sorry if I'm giving you motion sickness, but Della is very much a demanding young lady. Can I just plug my charger in, please? Sorry. She's still harassing me. Anyway, sorry. Okay. So, writing it. Use your plan. And when I say plan, it's pretty much like what you've annotated on the sheet. So use that to kind of guide what you're going to write. Okay? And stick to it. Don't kind of, just go off track. Remember, this piece is not about your opinion. You are analysing robots. Okay? Do not give your opinion on the issue at all, ever. We don't care what you think. Okay? What we want you to do is analyse what people are saying. Okay, so then we step into writing it. Now, my other piece of advice would be try and use a range of sentence starters and vary your vocab. This is a very dry piece of writing to read. So the more interesting you make it with your language, as in kind of changing things up and saying things differently, the more enjoyable it is for your marker to read, which obviously is going to affect your mark. All right. So, I'm going to leave it there. I'll leave it there, and then we're going to talk about structure next. Okay.